Hey guys, this is Yeager with Metal. In this tutorial, we're going to take a quick look at the turbulence effect that's a part of Mantra VR. Alright guys, inside of After Effects, I'm going to come to the Effects and Presets panel and type in VR. And that's going to toggle all of the Mantra VR effects. And I'm going to come down here to Mantra VR Turbulence and apply that to my footage. Now the turbulence effect is one of my favorites as a part of Mantra VR. It creates a liquid-like simulation on your 360 footage that is seamless. Now one thing I want to note on the turbulence effect, you can use it on photos and video, but it's actually going to work best on still images. And that's because of the fluid-like animation. You can go ahead and see it here with the progress. This animation is going to go a lot smoother if it's based off of a still image, because you can think of this if it was a video changes, let's say if it's 30 frames per second, it's going to change 30 times in 1 second. So it's going to recalculate this simulation 30 times per second, and it's going to give you a little more of a chaotic result. You can definitely still use it on video, and I've used it on video myself, but you're going to get the best results if you actually use this effect on a still image. If you have a video clip and you want to go ahead and make that a still image, one thing you can do is just select your footage, right click, come up here to time, and then just select freeze frame, and that'll actually create a freeze frame on your footage, and that should help get rid of some of those chaotic results you might get if you just apply this effect straight onto video. All right, I'm going to go ahead and reset this effect. And again, let's go through some of the effect options we have here. Again, we have frame layout, where we can select from monoscopic or stereoscopic footage. Next, we have the actual progress bar. This is going to control the animation of the turbulence, kind of a liquid simulation again. And I'm just going to go ahead and toggle this down so we can actually see what's happening. So you can see as I bring this down, we get this kind of melting, liquidy look occurring on our 360 footage. And I'm just going to pause it here at 23. And just zoom in here and look at some of the details. You can see of all the colors are kind of blending together and flowing together. And we can increase this all the way up to 100. So let's increase it a little bit more here and we can see the result. This effect is a little bit more power hungry, so it will take a little bit more to render. But again, you can see the stellar results we're getting from this. And we come over here to the Metal Globe preview and kind of look around on this and see our results. You can see one thing that really stands out to me with this effect is you could use this to create seamless textures. So you can see this almost looks like a planet, the way all this is kind of flowing together. So it's really powerful to create those kind of things as well. I'm just going to double click inside for a POV perspective, and you can see as we look around here, we get some really nice abstract results. I kind of compare it to the Van Gogh Starry Night look, particularly with the little twists that get kind of accented on the footage here. You can see right in kind of this area. So I'm going to zoom back here just so we can see the entire 360 again. And let's go over here and look at some of the other settings. So we have velocity, and this is going to be the actual velocity of the fluid-like simulation. So how quick everything flows together. And we can adjust this. At default, it's at max of 100. And if we wanted to, we can toggle this down. You can see as I bring that down, everything's not quite as mixed together as it was because, again, the velocity is lower. In this case, it's 50% lower. And we can continue to adjust this, and you can dial it down and really go for the stylized look that you want. But that is what the velocity does. Now next we have the turbulence. And the turbulence is actually going to pertain more to these little twists, kind of the Van Gogh-like accents on the footage. You can see all throughout the footage. I'm going to set this to be a full resolution just so we can see those a little bit clearer. Now we can see all the little twists that we get on the footage. Some really sharp detail with this. But again, the turbulence, if I go ahead and dial this back down, you're going to see it's going to get rid of a lot of those little fine detailed twists in the footage. You can see how it kind of scaled them back. And I'll just bring this all the way down to 0. And now you can see everything's kind of really more smooth, almost like a liquid or a fog flowing together. Really smoothed out the entire design. And we can see the result here in the Metal Globe preview. So just by adjusting the turbulence, you really get a almost completely different look. It's still kind of in that same genre. It's like a painting, but definitely a different style. Now let's go ahead and look at the next setting, which is the force direction. So this is kind of, you think of this like the gravity. So when we animated the progress, everything was kind of flowing downward. And that's because the force direction by default is set to 180. And you can see as I go ahead and adjust this, it'll take it a second to load, but you'll see the direction, kind of the flow of everything change. You can see now I have it a little bit more horizontal. And so the direction of the flow has changed. And I can continue to change this. I can put it completely horizontal here. And you can see how that adjusts, how all these twists and everything are occurring on the footage. And I can also animate that with the progress to see the results there as well. So you can see how the direction there, it's moving more over as opposed to falling down. We have another checkbox option called the Vorticity, and that's going to add those little twists back into our footage. So when our turbulence is increased, I'll bring it all the way back up to 100. And you can see we get a lot of turbulent result. If we want to get rid of those little twists, but have our turbulence at a higher value than 0, we can check on and off this Vorticity effect. And I can just uncheck that, and you'll see this kind of applies that smooth motion back on our footage. It's a quick and easy way to toggle those two perspectives if you want to get rid of those little minor twists. Now finally we have the density map, and I'm going to go ahead and reset the effect here, and I'm just going to go ahead and increase the progress. And with the density map, what we can do is we can actually control kind of where the start and the flow of all this liquid simulation is occurring. It's going to go off of really a black and white image. You can have gray in there as well. But wherever the lighter colored areas are of your density map will be where the animation starts from. And so to demonstrate that, I've created another composition here, which is just a black background with a white solid on it. And I've renamed it Density Comp. And I'm going to bring that back into this composition here. So I'm going to drag in the Density Comp composition, place it below my footage. And I'm going to select my footage again that has the turbulence effect on it. And for density map, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select my density comp. And you're going to see how this drastically changed the look of our footage. So if I go back up here to the progress, we can get a better idea of what's happening. You can see if I set this back at 0, nothing's occurring on our footage. But if I go ahead and increase this just a little bit here, you can see that the actual fluid-like simulation is beginning based off the density map where that white circle was. You can see how it's kind of pulling everything toward that and flowing down from that. So density maps give you another way of controlling the animation, controlling the turbulence, if you have a very specific thing in mind that you want to try to do. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial for the turbulence effect. This has been Charles Yeager from Metal. Thanks for watching.